Nothing can change and nothing can move towards the direction you want it to move unless you make the decision. I want to talk about this importance of making decision when it comes to anything and everything in your life, and especially if you are looking at life as a game, as I was talking in my previous video. You will have to make decision of what you actually want going forward. What do I mean by that? For the longest time, I have been in this kind of in between, in this limbo, in this middle, and I kept perpetuating this phase myself by not making a clear decision, by not putting a clear intention of where I want to go or what I essentially want. So this showed up for me especially in a sense of where I want to live. When I was quite young, I moved from my home country because I was studying, and from that point, I kept moving countries very, very frequently and very often. So I kind of get into this movement and I got into this habit of moving, changing the environment, changing the jobs, changing the situation, all of that. And I put myself in this point of view where I thought like, I don't know, I'm not sure where I want to settle down. Because it came to the point where I kind of got tired of constantly moving, packing my stuff and on repeat doing the same thing over and over again. Yet I was not sure where I want to settle, and therefore I was sure that I don't want to remain here, that there is nothing here for me at this point, at this time in my life. I knew it was not the place for me, but I was not at the same time doing this decision where I actually want to be and where I actually want to go. So that was perpetuating my own cycle of indecision, my own cycle of in between, because I was not quite there, but not anywhere else yet. I was in this wishy-washy energy where I was not communicating clearly, not putting my intention clearly onto what I want. Therefore, I was not receiving any guidance. Therefore, I was not receiving any signs. Therefore, I was not receiving any support because I was not clear on what I want. So, if you are now in the middle, in the in between, and I assume you might be if you are watching this channel, I focus on this phase a lot. I want you to clearly define what do you want. Okay? And this process is going to look different from each of us. But for me, it was kind of hard to define what I want. I was quite undecisive for majority of my life. It started with what I absolutely want, tolerate, what I absolutely do not want, where I absolutely do not want to be. So I started with this kind of deciding what I don't want up until the point where I get to the point what I actually wanted, right? And let me tell you this, once you decide, once you make that decision, it's going to make your life so much easier. Because I know many of us are thinking, what if this is right? What if this is wrong? What if I make the wrong decision? And let me tell you right now, there is no such thing as wrong decision. And from my own experience of being in this limbo, in this in between for so long, the only wrong move you can make is actually not taking decision, not taking a stance, not being clear in your intention of where you want to be and who you want to be, essentially, right? So if you are not taking that decision and you are proclaiming, I don't know, I'm in between, I'm figuring it out, life and its forces has to somehow adjust to you and it will make the decision for you. Okay? I want to repeat this because this is hitting something really important. If you do not decide for anything, life is gonna decide for you. And it will take the form of the people around you, of the jobs you accept, of the relationships you enter, of the places you live, essentially. Everything will be decided for you since you are not deciding for yourself. Something has to be decided, and other people will take over by deciding for you. Okay? And then we are coming back to the importance of taking responsibility for your own life. And if you are claiming you are in the middle, you don't know where to go, you are not sure which way to go, what to decide for, you are not taking 100% responsibility of your life, because you are letting other people take the responsibility over where you are right now and what you are accepting, what you are living, what you are moving through. Does that make sense? So if you do not take that decision for yourself, someone else is going to do that for you, right? And that's why it's so important making the decision and being clear in your intentions of what do you want. Because energetically you will communicate this is what you will accept and this is what you will absolutely not accept. So you will not let other people decide for you. You will not let them just fill in the blanks or putting their ways of how they expect you to be, because you already decided of how you want to be when it comes to anything and everything in your life, whether that's, like I said, the jobs, relationships, where you are, what your hobbies are, how you spend your days. You need to take that decision for yourself so you don't let other people manipulate that energy, because we are doing that subconsciously, right? No one is going, I mean, some people may be doing that, but most of the people are not doing it on purpose, but subconsciously they are mirroring and filling in the blanks and the gaps if they are very, very decided about their stuff and their expectation of you, they are going to come and try to impose it on you, right? Subconsciously, whether you like it or you don't like it. And then it's up to you what you're going to do about that. But the first thing you actually need to do is not about fighting with those people or doing anything about it. It's actually with you in yourself. You are taking the intention, you are making the decision of what you want, of who you want to be. And that's gonna make your life so much easier. That's gonna make this whole game so much easier, because when we are relating it again as life is a game and you are the player here, if you're in that game, imagine right now you are playing the game and you are there standing right now. You are undecided about your next step. You are literally frozen in that game. Nothing is happening and you cannot move forward. You're going to go backwards because you are literally in the middle waiting what decision to make. So you cannot actually up level. You cannot go through that level. You cannot progress. You cannot up level and you cannot even move, right? You are literally gonna be frozen in time. And I want you to apply that in your own life where you are not taking decision. And you know very well what I'm talking about. I'm right now talking about something and it pops up in your brain, in your mind right now. This is what I've been avoiding. This is what I've been postponing. This is where I did not decide. You know this is your next step. You need to take decision and set the intention of what you actually want. Because if you will not do that, other people will fill in the blanks. If you will not do that, the game stays frozen. If you will not do that, the game stays on pause. You are in the middle, you are in between. This is your own excuses rolling in your mind and telling you, oh, I just don't know. I'm figuring it out. I'm trying to do that. Stop with that. Make the decision today. Take the stance. And like I said, you cannot make wrong decision. There is no such thing as wrong decision. There is only decision for something that is going to either give you a lesson, upgrade your life, push you forward, or make you repeat some sort of lessons, right? So you cannot make wrong decision. The only wrong decision is the one that is not made. The only wrong decision is the one that has not been made. So if you are now in the in-between when it comes to relationships, for example, you are not quite sure what you want, but you are still entertaining the people who are not it for you, right? You are still entertaining someone who you are not 100% sure, but you are waiting for someone else to come and appear in your life. It is not going to happen because you are putting your energy into this willingly or unwillingly, and up until you will cut that and clear that energy, the person or the relationship you are looking for cannot show up for you. Does that make sense? The same with the career. If you're entertaining now some position or job that you don't necessarily enjoy while you are wanting to upgrade or get completely different job, it cannot show up for you while you are still giving your attention to that. So it could show up for you if you were clear on that you want to end that, and you were clear with your actions, with your decisions, and with your behavior to show the universe, to prove the universe literally that this is your decision and that's where you want to go, then you will get that guidance. Okay, so this is like the missing piece that was missing in my own life. That's why I'm bringing it up for you today, how you can do that, how you can avoid that, and how you can understand why you are still in this in between or in this limbo situation, in the middle, or perceived as stuck, just because you are not making decision, just because you are not making it clear what do you want. And I promise you, the moment that you start getting clear on what you want, and you make it clear within yourself, you put up the intention, you will start receiving signs, guidance, and support from unexpected places, because you are clear, and now this energy can support you. Universe can support you with providing how to get there. You don't need to know the how, you just need to know the decision and the why behind it. So in my previous video, I was talking about how life is a game and we are playing this game. And it makes sense actually when I bring it back to that, right? Because when you are imagining yourself as being in the game, the player, if you are not decided what's your next step, you're just gonna stay on the same place, right? You're not gonna move forward. You're not gonna move to the next level. You're not gonna make any progress. You're not gonna learn any new skills, because you are staying literally like frozen in time. You're frozen in the game. You are frozen in the level, because you are not doing and showing up with your actions what your decision is. And no matter what the decision is, because there is no right or wrong decision, I truly believe that there is only decisions. And the worst place you can actually be is not decided, right? If you are not decided about something, you are in this literal limbo, like I'm saying. You are frozen in time because you are not deciding for this, but you're also not deciding for this. So you cannot move forward to nothing, because you are there waiting around, sitting around for something to happen. And sometimes something will happen, and sometimes something will happen to push you towards making that decision, right? If you are not moving for a long time, if you are not making decision for a long time, and you are frozen in this time, you are frozen in this game, you're gonna be pushed and forced to do decision. Either you decide for that or that. And yes, there is multiple, infinite timelines and decision that you can take, but at one point you're just going to have to decide for something, right? Doesn't matter what it is. And like I said, it's not right or wrong, because every single decision that you take in your life is going to either teach you a lesson or get you closer to where you want to be. And that is a progress in itself, right? So if you make the decision, if you start walking, if you start taking the steps, you cannot stay frozen and you cannot go back in the game, because you are progressing no matter what. No matter what you're gonna do, I want you to take decision on what you've been avoiding, what you've been postponing, what you've been putting behind, what you've been avoiding for so long, that today is gonna be the day that you make this decision. And don't overthink if it's right or wrong, if it's good or bad. Just make decision. Decide for something, right? If you are in a situation where you are not happy with your job, you want to change it, but you are not changing it, I want you to decide today, okay, I'm gonna accept this job and I'm gonna be here up until I save some amount of money that will help me to then progress to where I want to be. So you are deciding to stay in that job rather than undeciding and waiting around what's gonna happen. or you're going to decide to quit that job today, or when you put your notice. And that's also a decision, right? You have to decide. You cannot be undecided, right? And this is coming from someone who could not even decide what I want to order in a restaurant or similar stuff, right? So I know what I'm talking about. And this undecisiveness is making your life and your condition much, much worse, because you cannot decide for wrong thing. Like I'm repeating again, you can only decide for something, and that something is going to lead you forward, and it's going to show you, okay, I should adjust my decision, I should adjust my way to get more aligned with what I actually want. And it's going to show you either you really don't want that or you really, really do want that. So either way, you cannot lose, right? You are still winning. So you need to be decided of what you want. And that will give you all the tools, all the support. Everything is going to flood your way to support you, but you need to make the decision. This is one of the biggest lessons that I have learned in the past 2 years, when I was not decided on what I want, and I was just like kind of going with the flow, figuring it out, trying it out, starting this, starting that. No, you have to be decided, and you have to be backed up fully with your decision, and then everything can support you on your way in your game. This is a big, big quantum leap in a way, because when you decide, you know where you're going, and other forces know where you are going, and they will support you. Like I'm always repeating, guys, the decision is so, so important. And like I'm repeating again, I was the person who couldn't even decide what I want to order for a drink or anything like that before. So I know what it means, I know how it is, and I also know the importance of making the intention clear, making the decision. And trust me, when you make that decision, even the fact that you make it, you are not sure if it's right or wrong, but even the fact that you decide for something and you commit to something is going to clear out the fog in your brain, or the constant chatter, constant overthinking, this or that, because of course you are overthinking when you are in between, when you are in the middle and you are not sure what's going to happen. So whatever decision you make today, whatever stance you take today, make it 100%. Don't be wishy-washy here and there, like I was telling you before. When I was deciding where I want to live, I don't want to live here, but I don't know where I want to live. So where am I actually? Am I here? Not fully, because I don't want to be here. Am I somewhere else? Not fully, because I haven't made a decision. And that's what I wanted to actually tell you, that once I made that decision, and it was just a couple of days ago, I kid you not, I already started seeing momentum of things starting moving, rolling, and going forward, because I simply made a decision inside of myself. I set the intention about what I actually want. I was no longer in this in-between limbo figuring it out, but I made that decision. Signs started showing up. Support came from unexpected places, because now the universe has the data and can support me on what I actually want, because it knows what I want, rather than not knowing, being here and there, wishy-washy, 1 feet there, 1 feet there. You cannot move forward with that energy, right? So for the people who are similar in this way, I used to be very undecisive unless I was really, really decided about something. And thinking about it now, every time when I made a decision and I was really stubborn about it, it went forward, right? I made it happen because I was really decided for it. Compared to the times where I was not decided, where I was wishy-washy, where I was not clear with my intentions, nothing seemed to be moving, nothing seemed to be happening. And that's all energetically, right? It's all energy. We need to be clear in our decisions, so the decisions can take the forward movement and can support you on getting there, because you don't need to know the how, right? You're getting back to the basics. You don't need to know the how. How is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? what you actually need to do. You just need to be decided and intentional about what you want. And then the step will uncover itself. You only need to see the next step, right? You don't need to see the whole staircase. You only need to see your next step. And then when you get to the next step will reveal itself. So all this game is about going through the levels by only knowing where you are and the next step. And that's all you need. That's literally all you need. You don't have to have it figured all out. No one has figured it all out, I promise you. You only need to know your next step. So you basically need to decide for something. And once you decide, everything is going to start supporting you and rolling you forward in this momentum. It might take you some time to make the decision, but I would like you to make that decision today so you can go forward from this. You can move forward from where you are, and you realize your mind starts connecting the dots and stops perceiving you as being stuck, as being in between, and starts moving you towards your desired reality. That's all it is, right? So making the decision might be your next step into switching timelines, into collapsing the timelines into the version of you that we want to become, because until you make that decision, things will not take place. Okay? So please, whatever it is, whatever you've been postponing, whatever you've been trying to avoid or figuring out, I want you to take decision about it today. And don't think about whether it's right or wrong. Just take the decision, be intentional about it, and see how everything starts supporting you from this moment going forward.